Welcome to Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music. Hi, I'm Robert Brzezinski.
And I'm Jeanne Kataoka. And together, we're having real conversations with your favorite New Thought artists.
Join us as we take a deep dive into the inspiration and meaning behind the music of New Thought. Our guests are ready to share stories from their spiritual journey and creative process with you.
Real Conversations is a chance to look behind the curtain and connect with your favorite New Thought artists.
So let's dive right in. Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music.
Technical difficulties during the recording of this interview necessitate editing of some answers provided by our guest. We apologize for any lost conversation and trust you still find value in this real conversation. And hello again, dear ones. Robert Brzezinski with you, and I'm here with my co-host,
Jeanne Kataoka.
And we want to welcome you to another episode of Real Conversations, the opportunity to look at the meaning behind the music. And I want to tell you, we're incredibly blessed and very excited. Nimo Patel is with us today. Hello, Nimo. Welcome.
Hello, Brother Robert and Sister Jeanne. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, and thank you for being here. I'm going to let Jeanne do some introductions as we get some music queued up. And then following the introduction, we're just going to move right into a piece of music that I think is the perfect way to start our conversation with Nimo.
And we're so excited to have you, Nimo.
Thank you.
Nimo was born and raised in Los Angeles and found his way to his current work in India via an Ivy League education. After finding fame as a rap star with MTV and a stint working on Wall Street. But now he has a nonprofit called Empty Hands Music, which offers music at 100% gift offering basis. And the mission of his nonprofit is to spread seeds of goodness in the world through selfless service, music, and love. Definitely high-minded and a wonderful, wonderful goal in life.
Yes. And we're going to start with one of what I believe is the most beautiful pieces of music that's come through Nimo. This is Prayer. Please relax, enjoy.
Well, I'm sitting here in silence, sending people smiles and realizing when we send out love, it keeps on rising. So I choose to close my eyelids to send positive vibes and to every living being from the ocean to the skies. And as I look at all the crisis, I realize that I just can send my love and prayers and forgive all of my rivals. To me, this is all priceless, to transform all the violence through sacrifice and trying, sitting on this cushion silent. May all beings be happy, peaceful and non-violent. May not one being suffer in the mind, even the tyrants. May all souls find alignment with their hands, their hearts and minds. And may all of us keep walking from ignorance to be wiser like. Ooh, I'm sending prayers out to you. I'm sending prayers out to you. I'm sending prayers out to you. Sending prayers out to you. Sending prayers out to you. Sending prayers out to you.
Oh, Nimo, welcome, welcome, welcome. That gets me every time, right at that heart level. It says so much. So welcome to the program. Share with us a little bit. How does a song like that come into creation? How does that song come into being as an artist? And help us understand a bit.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Robert. It's a special song for me because, you know, for the last 15 years, I've been practicing meditation, and in the way I've learned it, the ending of meditation is always a prayer to the world. It's a prayer to all beings. It's a prayer to everyone and everything for joy to arise and for suffering to cease. And from that practice itself, I really felt like I would like to just do a prayer song to express what I feel like I have. In the Buddhist realms, they call it metta bhavana meditation. And but I think it's a meditation, it's a prayer, but that's an offering. Always embracing the entirety of all beings in our hearts. And I really appreciate that process. So that's how the prayer came. And actually, awesome timing, because we're just finishing up a music video for that song. Sister Ellie, who has helped create every Empty Hands music video. She's an amazing soul based in Washington, D.C. So we've just finished. We're in the kind of final stages of finishing a really simple video for that song as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you. You know, folks, we, as a group, our show, we do a prayer prior to recording the episode. We don't share that with the audience. It's a more private thing. And it just felt really appropriate to get started with one of Nimo's prayers. So thank you for sharing that with us. You mentioned your videos also, and I want everybody to know, yes, the music you're going to hear today is amazing, and we're going to learn more about it. And every one of, almost everyone, I guess we haven't seen a video for prayer just yet, but most of these have a really amazing video that goes with them. And I appreciate the filmmaking that's gone into your videos as well. So we'll make sure there's links for all that in the show notes. What I really would love to dig into is a bit. Now, we've heard, and there's other interviews out there you share, that you had success with MTV and in Wall Street, and you're doing well, and 9/11 kind of comes along and shifts your perspective, as it does for so many people. And then maybe not all of a sudden for you, but after a bit, here you are, and you're collaborating with Daniel Nahmad, who is one of, if not the biggest name in New Thought music, in positive music, from our perspective, my perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's where you first catch my attention, and the song Planting Seeds, which is a Daniel Nahmad song. And I've been wanting to know forever, what was it like to be in a creative process with Daniel and to be recreating something at a very different way, one of his traditional songs, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, Robert, it's amazing how the world conspires, because I'll add to that, if it's okay, just how we met, because it was pretty magical. You know, I was in the process of working with 16 children deeply in India, in Ahmedabad, at the Gandhi ashram where I live, for the last 10 years. And we were creating a musical, and ended up with this seed of thought to maybe bring the children who are from some of the poorest backgrounds socioeconomically to America and to the UK on a tour. Now, that would only be possible with volunteers. So I was doing a pre-tour kind of tour for myself to kind of get acquainted with the volunteer group and family that would help support us with that tour. And dear friends, Nipun and Guri in the Bay Area, as they're dropping me back off to Oakland Airport, say, "Oh, we have a gift for you." And they hand me Daniel's Water album. Probably one of my favorite music albums of all times now. But at that point, I didn't know who Daniel was. And I was just listening to some of these songs, including Water and Planting Seeds. And I was just like, wow. It just happens to be that the next year and a half of my life with these children as I'm working, this was a big shift for me from the life that I was living. So this was a new phase of my life. I end up using Daniel's album as my soundtrack of my life and just saying, this is how I want to grow. These are the values I want to practice. This is how I want to practice my spiritual journey while I'm in this work with my children here. And so as God had it planned, we ended up getting passports, visas, funding to create this 2-month tour with 16 of our kids and a team of 25 across the world. And as we were planning that, my friend Nipun ends up writing an article on this magical journey that's unfolding with these 16 children. And at the end, he quotes Planting Seeds, which was my favorite song at that time, because it was really about that. It's like, how do I offer myself to this work and to these children without expecting anything back, without trying to feel like I have to change them or they need to be a certain way or that I need to receive some accolade. The messaging was so important in that song for me. And so I kept on sharing his music with other people, and Nipun ends up writing, at the end of the article, I forget how it was, but he quotes the lyrics of Daniel's chorus in that song and says that's what my intention was. And somehow someone read that article that knew Daniel. They passed the article on to him. He ends up being very blessed and enjoyed at seeing this article, and then reaches out to me. And I feel very honored and blessed that Dan's reaching out to me. So I asked him, I'm bringing these amazing group of kids out to America and to Los Angeles. At some point, would you be open to opening the show with a few songs, including Planting Seeds? And so the first time I meet him is on stage at John Muir Middle School in downtown Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles, where we're having our show, our first Los Angeles show with our kids. And he comes on stage with us while we're doing prayer before the show. And we hold hands all together with the kids. And that became our connection as brothers. And then from there, about, I would say a year later, I got an itch to write music again. And I started writing some songs. One, we had become pretty good friends by then. And I was with him and I was like, dude, what do you think about doing a hip hop version of this song, Planting Seeds? And he's like, I'm down. I've never done that before. Let's do it. Let's try it. And there we are in the studio trying to create a hip hop beat together. And then I started writing to it, and that's how we kind of collaborated on the first song out of many that we've now worked on together. That was the magic.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, let's give it a listen, folks. This is Nimo Patel, Empty Hands, featuring Daniel Nahmod. You just heard how this came into being. Here's Planting Seeds.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like
more.
your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it, not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true, then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does, you just smile cause now you know.
I spent a long
long time running. I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow.
When it grows, it grows.
Whatever dies will die.
And when it dies, it dies.
Whatever
Come on.
Works will
If it works, it works.
Whatever flies will
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
Fails will fail.
Fails, it
What's meant
fails.
to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will
Let it grow, let it
whatever
grow.
dies will
If it dies, it dies.
Whatever works will
When it works, it works.
flies
Yeah, let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will
If
fail.
it fails, it fails.
To soar will soar.
Come on, let it soar. I'm planting seeds and nothing more.
All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. This is Real Conversations with Robert Brzezinski. My co-host, Jeanne Kataoka, is with us today, and we're talking with Nimo Patel. We've been chatting about his collaboration with Daniel Nahmod and his album Empty Hands. Jeanne, I know you've got a question. Why don't you jump on in here?
So how did, in your collaboration with Daniel, how did Grateful come about?
Yeah, I mean, after planting seeds, Dan and I stayed in touch, obviously, and one of the first the first music video that I released was for a song called Being Kind, and that was in response to a 21-day kindness challenge that was taking place with one of our nonprofit service space. And after that was October of 2013, and we were leading into Thanksgiving, and so Kind Spring once again said, well, let's do a 21-day gratitude challenge leading into Thanksgiving. And our team there were kind of joking around with me that, oh, that being kind was such a great offering to the world. Why don't you do a song on gratitude leading up to Thanksgiving? And I was kind of like excited about it, but then I was like, well, you can't just keep writing songs just because of these challenges. But it felt right too, because it was like, what a powerful message. And I reached out to Dan because I wanted to see if he'd like to join on this song. It felt right, and he was like, sure. And we went on this virtual back and forth, because I was in India, he was in Orange County in California. We went on this back and forth, kind of like, what would it be? What would the music be? And what are the words? And it was really interesting because we actually came up with a first draft that is nothing like the final version that we had. But ultimately, when we started going back and forth, we felt good about kind of the flow and the energy, and eventually came to what is now we call the Grateful Song. And similar magic unfolded. I didn't know Ellie Walton, who helped direct the film for Grateful, but she ended up moving to my apartment from Washington, D.C., just on the week that I was looking for a cinematographer. And she just got a Fulbright scholarship, and that's why she ended up moving to our city, as well as finding a space in our apartment. And a friend told me about her, and I was like, wow, what do you mean she's a filmmaker? And I talking with her and letting her know that we need to shoot a music video in the next 6 days before Thanksgiving to release it to all these audience members. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm down. And we end up shooting it, and it was a beautiful experience. And we ended up shooting, I think we've shot maybe 9 music videos since then. But we've been like soul brothers and sisters since that relationship was formed right there. Wow. It's pretty magical, yeah.
Funny how the universe conspires to make your dreams come true.
Really, and I would add to that, Jeannie, I feel like the universe conspires when when we're doing something beyond ourselves and not for us necessarily, you know?
Absolutely. Right.
And I think it's definitely, you feel the magic happening.
Mm-hmm. It's just wonderful to hear stories about that kind of thing happening, though. Certainly when you're in service to others, but yeah.
Well, let's give it a listen, folks. This is Grateful by Nimo Patel.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all that
is a gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it
You're the
all.
blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all,
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am, all that I see,
Everything I hope and
all
everything I
that I've
dream,
been,
everything I feel
and all
and everything
that
I
I'll
be. I
ever
look
be
deep down and feel all the
is a
blessings. Everything I am and
blessing.
everything
It's so
I see, everything I
amazing,
hope and everything I
and
dream,
I'm
everything I feel and
grateful
everything I be.
for
I'm grateful for it all.
all
It's
that I
amazing.
am,
Everything I am and
all
everything I
that I
see,
see,
everything I hope and
all
everything
that
I
I've
dream,
been,
everything I feel
and
and
all
everything
that
I
I'll
be. I
ever
look
be
deep down and feel all the
is a
blessings. Everything I
blessing.
am and
It's
everything
so
I see, everything I
amazing,
hope and everything I
and
dream,
I'm
everything I
grateful
feel
for
and everything I
it
be. I'm
all,
grateful for it all. It's amazing.
grateful for it all.
You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So much to be grateful for. Thank you. It's always, I love music that makes people move, that makes people think and feel. And it feels to me like there's a transparency with your music, that things aren't really hidden. You're sharing what it is that's really happening and what you're really feeling in the world and what people can really do. And in the previous segment, you alluded to a song, you spoke up briefly about a song, Being Kind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on our list of songs that we wanted to talk about today. And this was a precursor, from what I now understand, to grateful.
Right.
Perhaps we'll switch it up, and when we edit the show, folks, perhaps we'll leave it the way it is. But share with us a little bit more. What is being kind, and how does that come into being?
Yeah, it's a good question. It was inspired, Robert, by a 21-day kindness challenge that our sister nonprofit kindspring.org was creating, a virtual platform for people to engage in these practices. And for me, though, not only as a gift to those 10,000 participants that involved themselves in that 21-day kindness challenge, for me, this kindness is just, I feel like the ultimate message. It's I always say, you take all the religious and spiritual teachings of the planet, and if you had to sum it up in one word, it would be kindness or compassion for me. And I just think that this song is so special for me because it really speaks to what we can do, all of us, at the most mundane and day-to-day and simple level. Let's not think of big goals and big impact, but at the smallest and most important level, which is our day-to-day, everyday moments, is that we have the capacity and the superhero power to be gentle, to be kind, allow people to feel comfortable around us, to feel embraced, to feel loved. And that's love in action is kindness. And that's why, to me, this song is so, the significance for being kind, this song for me is that this message, it's not my message, it's not my song, it's our universal message on humanity, that we take all the scriptures, all the religious and spiritual teachings that inspire us to be better human beings. But if we really extract the juice out of it, it's to be more compassionate and to make one another feel more loved, feel more accepted and embraced. And it's just the values of practicing kindness, humility, being more gentle and embracing and all loving. And so I think love in action is kindness, and that's what I wanted to share through the song, that how do we share that love one act at a time, one step at a time. Yeah. And that's what being kind is.
Yeah. That's what being kind is.
There are memes that go around on Facebook that in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Okay. So I think that kind of fits with the song. Yeah.
And it's something we have access to. It's not a big project. It's not some big impact thing. It's what all of us spend most of our times on a day-to-day basis in the small moments. Mm-hmm. Projects and the big meetings are just 10%, 5% of our day, but we're here in these moments with each other, and we can.
Wonderful. Well, let's give it a listen, folks. This is Nimo Patel. This is Being Kind.
Sinking and I'm thinking, what's the reason why we holding back from being kind? What's the disease? But then I sense we are fine. It'll all happen one small step at a time. When the world is full of violence and it needs a little kindness, I just sit and pray in silence, and God shows me the signs. Open my eyes, realize we are fine. One small act at a time. Last night I'm walking home and the homeless man says hello with a smile to let me know that he's got a lot of hope. He says, have faith, young man, we are fine. The world is kind. One small act at a time. Small acts we do together, even though maybe alone, changes the world for the better so we can call it home. And this is life as we know, when our hearts are aligned, the magic that unfolds, one small act at a time. Throw your hearts up, let it fly high, let your love for all the world spread through the skies. Let it drop down, let it all every single living soul. Can you see a love from me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time, and kindness will be all we can leave behind. Yeah, feeling grateful today. Never thought this day would come where I would feel it and say that each and every one of us has paved the way, doing good, and now we're all just moving up. When I'm kind to you, you pay it forward. This is how we build trust. Never had faith, but now I'm seeing you. I wanna gift you my life, wanna spread love before I die. Thank you, God, for finally letting me realize when I serve man, I'm really serving you in disguise. Smiles everywhere, 'cause now everybody's got the bug. Ain't no life without the love. If it is, it ain't no fun. What we gonna do now? Just grab a friend and give a hug. Spread it out real wide so everyone can be touched. Throw your hearts up, let it fly high. Let your love for all the world spread through the sky. Let it drop down, let it all go. Spreading kindness to every single living soul. Can you see a love from me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time, and kindness will be all we can leave behind. All we can leave behind. For you and I, kindness is all we can leave behind. All we can leave behind. For you and I, kindness is all we can leave behind. Behind. When all is said and done, kindness is all we can leave behind. Throw your hearts up, let it fly high. Let your love for all the world spread through the skies. Let it drop down, let it all go. Spreading kindness to every single living soul. Can you see a love from me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time, and kindness will be all we can leave behind.
So being kind, that's what we're called to do at every moment of every day, but it's the little things. So next up, I really want to talk to you about Ode to Women, since we're coming up on Valentine's Day, and that is such a lovely Valentine to all women. Tell us how that came about, Nimo.
Absolutely. Ode to Women is exactly what you said. It's our love offering of and respect and appreciation for all women in our lives. It was a song actually that we originally wrote in our native back in the days, called Karmasi, and we thought we'd write it in our native tongue as a dedication to our moms. So in Gujarati, which is Swap, my bandmate at that time and really close friend, and English. And it was, both of us have that same feeling. We just, that love, that respect and gratitude for all the female energy and presence in our lives. That was why we wrote the song. And I think for us as well, having been brought up in Indian culture, now especially me living in India, I see how much inequality, and I just feel like the culture is in some ways it's a little backwards, and it's not what many of us would envision, that where do we all kind of have that same platform. And so for us, not only the song, but then creating the music video for us, where Ellie then flew out from DC to help us shoot it, and then as well as Swap and KB, my bandmates, they flew out to India, and we shot it what was very powerful about the process, because this to me explains the song, is that the beginning of the song, the video, we actually bought about 60 pounds of rose petals. And what we did for the entry of the song was we asked all the women in our community. These are women that are rag pickers on the streets. These are women that are professionals. Some are politicians, teachers, businesswomen. I mean, from all socioeconomic strata, daughters and children. We asked them to line up, and all of us, all the male counterparts, friends, brothers, partners, we all grabbed all these rose petals and we asked them to walk into the museum that we were going to be shooting this video in, and we just started throwing these rose petals. But we asked them to take it in a loop. And they enjoyed it so much, and it was amazing because the message of the song was being practiced in the creation of the video, and the women came up to me afterwards, and they're like, they're speaking to me in native tongue, but they're like, Nimo, we've never experienced this type of honoring. We've never been honored in this way, and it was that to me made the song and made the video. I didn't need to do anything else. I just felt like the message was achieved, and it's a special song for that reason, and the music video as well.
Such a beautiful message. So let's listen to that one.
કરું છું બરાબર માન તમને કેવી રીતે આપવું અને આ નાનો છોકરો હવે મોટો થઈ ગયો પણ યાદ રાખીશ તમારા લીધે જ અહીંયા પહોંચી ગયો. A simple rhyme in these complicated times is hard to come by. To tell the truth, I'm kinda stunned by. You know, I used to think the soul could only take so much, but now I realize that it only takes your touch. સત્યને શક્તિ તમારી આંખોમાં જન્મેલા, કર્મનો મોક્ષ તમારી દિલ મરમેલા, પ્રેમ ને ધર્મ તમારી આગળ તો પગે લાગે, તમારી માટે સૂર્ય તો આખી રાત જાગે. Teach me how to go against the grain with grace. Can't you see? Humanity should plant its seeds in the smile of your face, quietly without expectation, without the need for others' approval and affirmation. See, you laid the foundation since the beginning of time, and right now I only wish that I could press rewind and take back any pain I've ever caused you. Now I pause to think about life if I lost you, but enough of all that, it's time to celebrate, cause every moment that we live to you we dedicate, and truth be told, cause you can see it in my eyes, a genuine thank you, cause you're the woman in our lives. Women, it will be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through. The beauty that you bring to my life is so true, that's why I appreciate you. You are our women, it would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through. The beauty that you bring to my life is so true, that's why I appreciate you. You are our women.
You're like an aberration of my imagination. There's no exaggeration to describe my adoration for all the things that you bring to our lives. When I look in your eyes, I see the past and the future. From the mother to the wife, you to give her a life. And from the daughter to the sister, you the lifter of strife. You the Pati, the Auntie, the Shakti, the Shanti, Maharani. I'm so lucky just to have so many of you in my life, looking out for me with that smile sweeter than honey. And it's never been a moment I've had to doubt that you love me, even though I'm crazy and sometimes I don't have a clue. But as a man, there's certain things I just have to do, and I appreciate how even when you can't relate, how you always seem to take my word with trust and have faith. You're the picture of patience, the definition of love, and no matter how much we tell you, it could never be enough. We love women, it would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I could ever make it through. All the beauty that you bring to my life is so true, that's why I appreciate you. You are our women, it would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I could ever make it through. All the beauty that you bring to my life is so true. That's why I appreciate you. You are all women.
આપણી પાછળ ચાલે છે કેમ આપણું ડાચુનું જેમ આ વાતો સાચું હોય તો મને કે ત્યાં દેશમાં રડતા હતા આપણી છોકરીનું પ્રેમ તો જોયા વગર ચોરનું જેમ આપણે લેતા હતા ને હવે time. Every time I close my eyes I dream of visions of beautiful queens that walk by my side. I hold your hand in this time, put you on the highest pedestal like the point on the peak of the mountain and never let it go. Mummy, તમે તો મારી શક્તિ છો ભગવાન નહીં તો તમારી મારી ભક્તિ લો. I pray to God that you never run out of my life, cause I see too many ego men living Adam in strife. You're the catalyst in times like these. I think twice. Mithriji vakat no jingi mari jingi is your life. That's right. You're the testament, proof, and birth certificate. Yes, you're the women in our lives. Thanks for listening. Yeah, listen. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through. The beauty that you bring to my life is so true. That's why I appreciate you. You are our women. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through. The beauty that you bring to my life is so true. That's why I appreciate you. You are our women. Women, women, women.
And that's Ode to Women by Nimo Patel. And such a beautiful, beautiful song. And thank you so much for sharing how the imagery came to be. Sounds like such an amazing way to share sacred love with the women in your life and in your community there. So thank you.
Yes, brother. Thank you, guys.
So, and it feels like to me, another song we'd like to talk about is To My People.
Oh, yeah. Special song, special people in the song.
Tell us more about that, please.
Man, this is really special because of the human beings that I was able to collaborate with. Chad Harper and Nick Dalton, both I met through our amazing global service community. Nick was directing a musical of 30 underprivileged children from the organization of Teach for India in the city of Pune. And I met him because I was doing a workshop with his kids as well as the nonprofit there, Teach for India, during a moment in time. And then we just stayed in touch because we realized we were soul brothers. Chad Harper runs an organization called Hip Hop Saves Lives in Brooklyn. And we got connected again through a magical virtual reality world of love. Mm-hmm. It was just finding out what he does and connecting us through a mutual friend. And then we just stayed in touch. And then he eventually flies to India to visit us at the ashram. And just this amazing collaboration. And we had both of these guys together in my apartment at one moment. And you know, it's all magical. And so this was a song that was just like we had Ode to Women as an ode to our amazing women on this planet. This is a ode to our web of life. You know, each one of us is a hub with spokes of life connected to so many people that support us. without the spokes, the hub is nothing. Yeah. And it's really this dedication to all that web of life that creates every one of us. It's connected to this African proverb called Ubuntu, this idea that I am because we are. I am here because we are all here. When we are all not here as a collective or as a family, then there is no sense of self, actually. And to me, this song, To My People, was that dedication. And I felt so blessed that two human beings who are using their lives as instruments of amazing service and love, I got to collaborate with them. And the video we ended up shooting in America, in Liberia, in India, and then people that also shot. That was between Chad, Nick, and I, and then others that submitted their videos from all over the world as well. So it really became this Web of Humanity video that I felt so blessed to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give it a listen, folks, and there'll be links to all the videos in the show notes for today's episode, but let's give that a listen. This is Nimo Patel and To My People.
From the day that we were born and mom hugged us with warmth, and we grew cause we knew we had all your support. From the fams to the friends, your love was medicine, keep giving us the strength to rise when we would sin, and the knowledge that we gained through every single mistake. But you never back down through this, you taught me faith. Every single one of you, through being you do find a way to spread love through truth, through me and you. And it's because of you I grew, because of you I flew, because of you I made it through without residue. Because of you we all have a home to come to. You're a blessing to us all. Keep just being you.
To my people, yeah, you're my soul, you're my roots, you're my family, my life, and my truth. To my people, yeah, you're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah, you're my God, you're my soul, you're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah, I bow down to your heart of gold. Yeah.
First I thank the universe, the infinite, the all. Kaja, Allah, whatever name you call. Then I thank the ancestors, yes, our predecessors. The wisdom and the knowledge that they passed only bless us. Shot the Marcus Garvey, MLK, Malcolm Gandhi, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, Tupac, they remind me the power of the pen, the music and the voice. Everything they've done let me know I have a choice. Now for my people, mom, pop, sister, brother, best friend, acquaintance, lover, co-worker. Even if I don't know you, all the good that you do helps me see my way through surface space, make you share it all the good
to my people, yeah, you're my soul, you're my roots, you're my family, my life, and my truth. To my people, yeah, you're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah, you're my God, you're my soul, you're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah, I bow down to your heart of gold. Yeah.
When I close my eyes, I always see learned souls who walk with me. They're taught to laugh, they're taught to love. You go to hug when push comes to shove. Turn the cheek, forget, walk away. Tomorrow is another day. And life is short, helping hands, they say, are holier than the ones who pray.
To my people, yeah, you're my soul, you're my roots, you're my family, my life, and my truth. To my people, yeah, you're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah, you're my God, you're my soul, you're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah, I bow down to your heart of gold. To my people, yeah, you're my soul, you're my roots, you're my family, my life, and my truth. To my people, yeah, you're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah, you're my God, you're my soul, you're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah, I bow down to your heart of gold. To my people.
All right, To My People, yeah. This is Real Conversations, folks. This is Robert Brzezinski. I'm here with Jeanne Kataoka, my co-host, and today we've been talking with Nimo Patel, listening to some groovy and amazing tunes here. We've got a little bit of time left, and I know that, Jeanne, you've got another question here that you've got set up for Nimo.
Yeah, Nimo, what's on the horizon? What's the next chapter?
What's the next chapter? I love it. I'm going to give you a really bad answer. My horizon is like my next step. And I really, when I started my journey in service 10 years ago, a dear brother, elder brother and mentor of mine said, make sure you live life like a flashlight. And you put the flashlight out in the dark and you see about 5 feet in front of you. And you don't need to see more than that. And you take that step and the flashlight and the light comes with you, actually. And you never really need to see too much. And so my horizon is quite short in terms of my vision. I know a purpose, so I know the purpose of the step that I take wants to be of service, wants to be an instrument for something way beyond myself. And that can happen through washing dishes and sweeping the floor. It can happen through performing in front of an audience of 10,000 people. It doesn't really matter. And I'm open to whatever kind of the higher power has planned. I go back to India, and before that we're shooting like 3 music videos right now. Ellie's coming out here. I do have a bunch of songs that I've worked on for the past few years, but I haven't had a chance to get to them because this past year has been an amazing journey with 17 kids that we ended up going on a world tour with. So it's been a busy year with them, and now I'm just kind of landing back again. So I think going back to India, I want to be back, just ready to serve in small ways, community there, and see how things unfold. I know writing music, Robert and Jeanne, for me, I had quit music actually in 2008 as a musician. And 2013 was a year after I had taken these children on tour, on the 2012 tour, and I came back from the tour and I said to myself, I don't feel like doing anything big right now. Everything in my life has always been big projects or companies or this. And I took a year out of just being, trying to connect with the smaller acts of service. And from that year, I didn't know where it was going to go, but I got this music again. And that all came from this space of emptiness. And I really appreciated that it was not this idea that I wanted to write music or that I wanted to be a musician, but there was something from the inside that came. So I like to go in that way, move forward in that way, and that let's see what unfolds. Have a deeper intention for sure, how to use our body and mind and heart, and kind of then let the higher powers decide what the horizon is going to be, So yeah, thank you guys for giving me this chance to share with you at this moment.
I love that, just the flashlight, because so often, at least in American society and culture, and you were caught up in that at one time, planning years ahead, and that's never been me. So I'm like, now I feel like I'm a sister in arms with you.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I can't plan. Like I don't plan past the end of my nose.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you. And as I'm listening here, I have one more song I want to talk about, and it feels like you maybe have almost just explained part of it. So the song I want to wrap up with here, folks, is something that's newer. It's a return to your collaboration with Daniel Nahmad. It's called We Shall Overcome. And for me, this sort of it felt to me like it marked a choice point where, rather than your music speaking about the reality of spiritual principles and spiritual practices, it felt like a turn towards a little more social activism, and almost as an anthem for a coming generation of love. Can you tell us a bit more? And then I want to hear a little bit more from you, and then we'll listen to what is a really, really powerful, I believe, an incredibly powerful song.
Yeah, no, thank you for that insight. I think for me, in even like, suggesting to Daniel that I'd love to do our version of this song, and I'm so glad he totally aligned with it. Sometimes I feel like activism can be dangerous because we kind of polarize. But if we are to be activists, I feel like spiritual activism is needed. I feel like if the root is not love, and love has to be at the core of our heart. And then what we say, what we do, will have not only power, but it'll also not divide. And so I think that's why, though it is, in a sense, obviously, it's based off of the song that was one of the most strongest activist songs of our generations of the past, "We Shall Overcome." But ultimately, this idea that love will rise again. That's what we're focused on. That all of this that we do is to redevelop and cultivate this spirit of love. And I think even in the video, one of the things that's been haunting us the past decade has been shootings by police towards, African Americans. And it's there's so many stories in different ways that we can take it. But then the idea in the video was take the heart and put it on the police car. That's the way to respond. How do we, and the great leaders of Dr. King and Gandhi and Mandela and so many that have taught us that in the harshest conditions, love will win. And yet we have to be willing to sacrifice and be willing to stay strong and have courage. So this song is that anthem for us to dig deep and ask ourselves, what does love mean for me? Because we're all different. And when we meditate on that, we'll figure out how that translates in our day-to-day lives. We'll figure out where we have to bring in love against who's irritating us, who's hurting us, and how do we actually then cultivate and transmute and transform that relationship a little, chip away at it with love, with forgiveness, with gentleness. So yeah, that's what it is. It is rising again. It will rise again, and we have to activate that within ourselves.
Well, there it is, folks. You've heard it from the artist himself. Let's hear the music. This is "We Shall Overcome," Nimo Patel and Daniel Nahmod. Enjoy.
It's burning inside, the hurting and the suffering minds, creating anger, fear, and pain, suffocating our times. The tougher it gets, the rougher social media cries. But we see to it that we tweeting only negative lines. We're sick and tired of history, but repeating it twice. Greed, anger, and violence clearly stealing our nights. Feeling it tight between the shoulders with a chill in the spine. Pinching myself, waking up, trying to stop the rewind and move forward towards stories, overcoming our fears. Choosing love over hate, praying, trading hugs over tears. There's only one choice, breaking down the walls and repair every broken heart on this planet till there's no longer fear.
Walls can't hold us in. Fear can't keep us down. Love will rise again. Yeah, it's rising right now. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
we shall overcome.
Every time I question, am I getting stronger?
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Young Gandhi couldn't fathom how to deal with himself when he was thrown off the train and the pain that he felt. Mrs. Parks disrespected, dragged into jail because of the color of her skin, organs, tissues, and cells. One day, a young girl was shot on a bus by a man, a terrorist, part of the Taliban. He said, on this land, you have no right to stand for what you believe in. Girls have no chance here. Well, now, that's just the story of three souls who shook our planet after being down on their knees. And it's not gonna stop. Those seeds have now become trees, and as human beings, we'll keep on digging till we find peace.
Yeah, the cynics always say that nothing ever changes. The human nature's bound to stay the same. But it couldn't be more plain that violence never pays, injustice never stays. It's bound to fade away. What if history awaits? What if today's the day? We already know the way.
So let's all lead the way. We shall overcome. Every time I think it's gonna take much longer. We shall overcome. Every time I question, am I getting stronger? We have just begun. Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Come on now. Longer. We shall overcome. Every time I question, am I getting stronger? We shall overcome. Make a change, we gotta push much farther. 'Cause I'm feeling it deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I do believe. We shall put your hearts together. Here we go. Woo! I knew it. God had a plan for us to do it. To hit rock bottom before we rise and continue. To first learn greed before we learn to be human. To do wrong deeds before we learn to spread beauty. There's always a plan, and now it's time to take a stand for the rights of the planet, every woman and man. We ain't gonna stop, only growing our demands for all beings to feel peace in every heart and land. Thank you, Lord, for the strength and the courage to bring us together and keep our souls nourished. These tough times will only drown in our chorus, because we all believe that the truth is before us. We shall overcome this pain. We shall overcome this day. We pray for love to lead the way. We shall overcome someday. We pray for love to lead the way.
Alrighty, folks, we have about run out of time here. We've been chatting with Nimo Patel. This is Real Conversations. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
We do have one little surprise, and we're just going to pull this anyway, see how this works today. A kind of a surprise question. We try not to give this one away, and we would love to know, what is your favorite Nimo Patel song?
So actually, I shared that Being Kind is probably one of my favorite songs, but a song that I've never performed ever in my life over the past 5-6 years since MTN's album came out, and that I always consider as my self-favorite song, that now we are shooting a music video for in the next few weeks, is called Dear God. And it's a song about my journey with God and religion. And it's broken up into 3 parts. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, but from a childhood perspective of blind faith, from a college perspective of seeing the hypocrisy and the irony in religion, in man-made organizations and thoughts, and the beauty of God. And then in the 3rd phase of life, realizing the deeper truth and the deeper power and the deeper spirit of love, goodness, nature, and connectivity that God really is. And so I really love that song. I just, for some reason, I've never performed it. And I'm just glad that we're finally doing a music video for it in the Mojave Desert in a few weeks. And it just feels like it's a good place to do it, you know, in the middle of God's work, nature, desert. And yeah, so that's I think that would be one of my favorite songs.
Cool. Beautiful. We know that's kind of like asking which is your favorite child. type of question. So thank you for sharing that with us. We'll play that out after we wrap up here, folks. We'll play Dear God for you as well. And, you know, if you've been listening closely, we've got 2 new videos at least, Dear God and Prayer. Sounds like there might be another one in the works there. We'll keep an eye out for that. Nimo, we'd love to have you come back and join us again in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to whenever the stars align, brother. Thank you guys so much for spreading the good word of all people that are doing good things and all things related to love.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, that's Real Conversations, the meaning behind the music for today with Nimo Patel. I'm Robert Brzezinski, my co-host, Jeanne Kataoka. We say thank you. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home.
Dear God, growing up I always prayed, said your name probably over 100 times a day. Never met you, couldn't see you, but had a lot of faith. Thank Mom and Dad for introducing us at a young age. As I grew a little older though, so did my mind. Curiosity turned to skepticism in due time. Began questioning all the rituals and little rhymes from the sacred books. They said you wrote each and every line. How could you? But they said you did, so you must have. Wasn't 100% sure, but in them I trusted. So I bowed, kneeled, sat in silence, and even read. Went to the temple and prayed every night before bed. Looking back now, I'm not really sure what prayer meant. I guess closing my eyes and doing what other people said, and asking for things like any other kid. Interest in the relationship that you and I had.
Hold my hand, so I don't walk alone. Call your name, don't know where to go. I found my way, I found my way, I found my way home. And now I'm yours, okay.
By the time I got to college, God, I prayed much less, except for before eating. Understandable, I guess. See, I wasn't clear from the start as to who you really were. Then I saw and heard so much fear, it all became a blur. I thought religion was supposed to be pure and not bad. And when I saw people use your name in vain, it made me sad. And that was just the start. Even worse was segregation. Temple, mosques, church, synagogues, and different congregations. They all spoke your gospel, even posted up your paintings. But behind your name, in the dark, they murdered and defamed. Instead of love, God, intolerance and greed has pervaded. Hollow in the marketing, but shallow in the faith. I was jaded, God, didn't really understand the reason how all your children in your name could dare commit treason. So I kept my distance and just prayed that one day you'd bring it all together in my heart and just explain.
Hold my hand, so I don't walk alone. Call your name, don't know where to go. I found my way, I found my way, I found my way home. And now I'm yours, okay.
When I hit 30, God, the clouds started to part. The answers started seeping in. I think you heard my call. You started showing up everywhere, not only when I'd fall, but every small blessing, I could start to feel it all. The love, the patience, the angel, the Satan. How we're all sinners who fall, but get up to be saints. The humility, the grace, acceptance of all the change. Suddenly not being kind started to feel strange. You used to be a statue, but not anymore. I see you more outside those walls than inside those doors. Your mother nature, the sun, the water, and the dirt. My enemy, my best friend, what hits me at my core. Most of all, you're my teacher to be a better soul. Falling down, getting up, so every moment I can grow. You are in me, God. You are the deepest root. From darkness to light, you are my inner truth.
Hold my hand, so I don't walk alone. Call your name, don't know where to go. I found my way, I found my way, I found my way home. And now I'm yours, okay. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God.
Thank you for listening to Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music. Real Conversations is produced by the New Thought Radio Network, sharing a vibration of love, positivity, and empowerment through a variety of media streams. Learn more on the web at newthoughtmedianetwork.org. Listen to past episodes of Real Conversations on the podcast page at newthoughtradio.net. Until next time, peace and blessings. Go forth and prosper.